There we go.
The fuzziness going on,
A lot of
but
fun.
we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Well, we are live.
We are live.
As Glenn normally says, Dr. Glenn.
We are fuzzy, but we're live.
Mm-hmm. We are. It might be something in the camera.
I don't know.
We'll have to check that out.
Yes. Okay.
It's saying it's cold outside. It's cold outside. Yep.
Well, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
Yes,
everybody.
Absolutely, everybody. We finally got to the end of September.
Almost.
Almost. We got one more day. It's September 29th, 2022, everybody.
Yes.
So year is moving right along. Along.
Yes.
So we welcome all of our guests and our viewers to our show today. It's a pleasure to always have you join us. We've been busy today and all this month. And got so many different things going on.
Yes.
And we're happy to always have our time with our viewers. So
yes. We want to start out this afternoon and just hoping everybody is doing well during this hurricane.
Yeah, down in South Florida, on the West Coast, and I think it's going across the state tonight towards the Orlando area.
Yes.
So we wish all those residents of the state of Florida well, and
praying for your safety.
Yes.
All that. And it's supposed to hit North Carolina.
Yeah.
South Carolina in the next couple of days, and then North Carolina.
So. Right. I think it's going to be bearing down on South Carolina first, and then us.
Yes.
So these are the times and days we live in, and
September.
We can't control the weather, but we can control how we respond to it.
Yes.
So, and that means getting to higher ground.
Get to a safe place.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing what we got to do to
stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yes. But today we got an interesting topic.
Okay. Yeah, it's something that we've talked about
on a regular basis
previously and on a regular basis.
Yes.
But we're thinking more so this time around. Well, first I'll tell you what our topic is, and it's when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes.
And Dr. Glenn, what does that mean?
That's kind of, I guess. I wish I thought of that, but I didn't.
Right. Oh yeah, and that's right. It's unknown.
Well, it's
an old Chinese proverb.
Chinese proverb. What I read it was.
And we're not claiming.
We're not claiming the rights of that particular quote. I wish I could have, did that one. But I years ago, James, I was at a meeting, and I just happened to had something was mailed to me, and it was like a magazine / newsletter.
Right.
Talking about different multi-level stuff, and I opened it up and read it, and they was trying to bring a point about trying to get involved in this multi-level thing. It was, and I read about it. But that quote came out, and he said, "When the student is ready, the teacher will appear."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Wow, that's powerful." They were trying to say it's time for you to get into this business, whatever. I don't know if it was Amway or whatever it was.
Right.
But it was very fitting. And where he was talking about, when they was asking how do you want to make more money?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have those, so anyways, so that was a commercial.
Yes.
But I kind of got that, and that stuck with me all these many years. Mm-hmm. And in fact, I wrote something about it in one of the books that I've written.
Right.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. It's a very powerful proverb.
Mm-hmm.
And saying a quote, and it's true.
Yes.
And so many different levels, and not just for our guys, but for anybody who, who wants to go to the next level, who wants to make some difference in their lives or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, so today we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit and add some other things to it. So,
but and hopefully I'll just use this as a reminder. I like the example that you shared with me when we were talking in your office about tonight, and you held the cup in your hand. So
Yes.
we can probably still do
Yes,
that.
we could do something like
you
that.
know.
Yeah. So when just because you don't see something
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's not there.
Absolutely.
We don't see it. So if I was to hold this cup in my hand
Mhm.
and you see the cup,
Right.
it's kind of fading out.
Right.
But if I also hold this in my hand, you see that.
Right.
Now you don't see the cup.
Yeah. Where'd it go?
I still have it,
How do we know?
but it's still there. But just the point is, because
Right.
you don't see it
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's not there.
That's
That's the point.
absolutely.
You don't see the cup,
Mhm.
but I have it.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that that's kind of the backdrop of just because you don't see things doesn't mean
It's not.
that it's not there. So in
Right.
this particular series quote, I guess they're saying when the student is ready,
Mhm.
the teacher will appear.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily mean the teacher hadn't been there all along.
Right.
You just wasn't ready.
I'm now ready.
You wasn't ready for the teacher to teach you what you needed to learn.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we were saying about that.
Mhm.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Right.
And so that's the topic we're going to be coming from tonight with our guys, and what we talk to them about different things, and so the teacher could be a person.
Right.
It could be a person. It could be a situation. It could be mentor or visual teacher. It could be an idea, a concept.
Yes.
When you're ready for something, it shows up.
Right.
And so tonight we're going to talk about that as in light to perceptions.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so
and how it started our conversation. We know that everybody's not ready to take on a new challenge or a new way of thinking, any of those things. And sometimes, and as Dr. Glenn just said, this isn't only for the men that we come in contact with.
mhm,
It could be ready for anybody, a
Right.
college kid, a
Right.
retiree.
yeah,
It doesn't matter,
Right.
But yes, we were
Yes.
talking about how to make that transition from the day to day
right,
to creating a new way of doing things,
Yes.
or a new way of perceiving things and moving forward in it.
right. To learn different things, learn different concepts, so we can be able to move and grow
Right.
as we need it.
Yes.
So again, when the teacher is occurred, when the student is ready. So when we are ready to learn something, when we're ready to make changes, there's always opportunities or somebody that they help us
Right.
in that transition.
Right.
So James, I read about this in one of the stories
Mhm.
as we talk about Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Mhm.
One of the habits he talks about is see, do, get,
Mhm.
which is one of the that has really kind of helped change my life and my thinking
Mhm.
years ago. That I still use it to this day.
Right.
Of the see, the do, and get.
Mhm.
What we see is our perception.
Right.
What we get is the behavior
Mhm.
and the results. So see, do, get. You see something, your action, and your result.
Right.
What you get.
Okay.
So if you're seeing the wrong thing, James,
Mhm.
then guess what?
Gonna
We're
do
gonna do the wrong things.
Mhm.
And if we do the wrong things,
Mhm.
guess what we're gonna get?
Same
We're gonna
results.
get we're gonna get the bad result.
Mhm.
So we have to start. So if you want to change your results,
Mhm.
you want to change your behavior, you first have to change what you see.
Okay.
And if your behavior don't change, if your perception don't change, your actions are gonna change, and your behaviors, and your results, it's gonna be the same.
Mhm.
Again, it's like keep doing the same thing
Mhm.
and looking for a different result is the definition of what we call insanity.
Insanity. Yeah.
Because we keep doing the same thing and you're trying to get the different results.
Right.
So if you want to change your behavior, you got to change what you see.
Yes. Well, we want to take a short break to just talk to our viewers. We want you to, we welcome you, first of all. And
Yes.
then, secondly, please share your link with your friends. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and like our page and follow us and share that link with your friends. And then, if you're on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel, as well as click on the notification bar bell and share that link. And it may not apply to you, but you might know someone who it applies to.
Right.
So tonight, I believe this can apply to us all,
Right.
because it's not just one-sided. It is something that we can all benefit from. So we're asking you to please join us and continue to listen. Hang in there with us. We won't keep you long, we promise. And so, Dr. Glenn, I'm going to let you do that right now. I believe we have a message from our founder, and then on the flip side, on the other side, we'll let you pick up and continue.
Okay, gotcha. Glenn Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there are 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. So
if you want to change your behavior, so Steve tells this story that he was on every Sunday. So Sunday morning he would get on the train from Manhattan to Albany to see his mother every Sunday morning.
Right.
And he would get on the train and get his newspaper, and about like an hour and a half trip, and he would get his newspaper and he would read his the article, whatever he's reading, to his mom's house. And so he said this particular Sunday he got on the train, and about 30 minutes into the ride, a father and his three kids got on the train.
Right.
And so sit down, and about 15 minutes into the ride, they ride together. Now the father's kind of sitting, looking out the window, just not tuned in to the kids at all. He's not there.
Right.
The kids now are doing what kids do.
Yes.
One little boy is picking with his sister baby doll, something little baby doll, and the other guy's got his little game and he's playing, and they're jumping around and yelling and screaming, and she's saying stop. And Stephen Covey said the father is just sitting there, just not paying attention. And
he's absent.
He's not, he's not, as my mentor used to say, he's not present to the moment.
Right.
He's out to lunch somewhere. He is not thinking about that. And sometimes when that happens, you want to beat the parents instead of the kids. So he said he was very frustrated to the point that finally he got up, put his newspaper down, went over to the father and tapped the father on the shoulder and say, "Sir, can you please do something with your kids?"
Right.
They're stepping on people's toes. And he said finally the father snapped back to reality and then said, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I really, really apologize." He corrected the kids. The kids sit down. Then Stephen said he wouldn't sit back down. And then the father said, "I'm so sorry. but their mom just died, and we're on our walk home from coming from the hospital.
Yeah.
And he said, I think I would just. He kept apologizing,
Mm-hmm.
and Steve said he put for the rest of the trip.
Mm-hmm.
He put his newspaper down,
Right.
and he started taking care of
The three
kids.
kids. Yeah.
And so he asked what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks about a paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
A paradigm shift is the frame of is our thinking. It's your rep. It's what you how you perceive things.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to change that, you have to change your paradigm.
Right. Right.
And so he had a paradigm shift from thinking about this father was a bad father
Mm-hmm.
to having a moment of sympathy
Where
with this father.
I need to help this father.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So his perception of the father changed,
Okay.
which means his behavior
Mm-hmm.
changed and the outcome changed.
Right.
He went on to say, if you want to make some major change in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a paradigm shift.
Right.
If you want major changes, have a paradigm shift, and your perception is what we and our perceptions could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's your perception doesn't mean it's right.
Correct.
Because it's your perception.
Mm-hmm.
I walk into a room and somebody don't speak to me,
Mm-hmm.
and automatically I could get an attitude. If this person is white, I could come up with an attitude that's racist. That's why they didn't talk to me.
Right.
Now that's my perception.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's true.
Correct.
But then my behavior toward this person
it's going
to come out of my perception.
Mm-hmm.
So if I take this guy as a racist because he didn't speak to me,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm going to look at him kind of side-eye.
Yeah.
And I'm drawing all the conclusion about this guy being a racist, which he may be thinking about his dog or his cat. He got nothing to do with me.
Right.
He may be just in another world, but my perception is my reality. It doesn't make it true.
Yeah. I saw something similar to that on Facebook. It was a cartoon. Well, not quite a cartoon, but it was a man and a wife. A husband and a wife in bed, and he's on his phone. Or no, I don't think he was on his phone. He's got his back to her. She's got her back to him, and all she's thinking in her head is, I know he's over there thinking about another woman, or he's cheating, or all of that, right?
Right.
All along, this guy's like, I need to make my car go faster. I wonder what I need to do. Is it a new fuel injection system? Is it headers? It's the perception.
Yes. So if you have the wrong perception, then your behavior is you're gonna do the wrong thing, and obviously your outcome is not
right.
It's not going to be what it wanted to be.
Right.
So again, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm.
Once you change your perception about things, you invite other things to come in to teach you different things about.
True.
So that's the premise that we teach those guys when they come out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Your perception about life,
mm-hmm.
about who you are, has got to change.
Yes.
You're not a victim, because sometimes people with a victim mentality look for handouts or blame everybody else for what they do, and we talk about the blame game,
right?
Where you blame other people from the jail, the PO officer. Everybody is at fault.
Court-appointed lawyers.
Lawyers, yeah, and we understand some of that stuff, but and then we talk about the difference between mistakes and
choices.
Yes, and sometimes, James, that's the perception. Or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When guys, when we share that with them,
right,
it's like the light bulb come on.
Yes.
It's like they get it. So we ask them a lot of times, what's the difference between a choice and a mistake?
Right.
And then I ask them, is there a difference?
Right.
Between the choice,
because all along
and a mistake,
they're the one and the same in their mind.
Yes, and I said, yeah. They said, yeah. No. They're the same. I said, really? Why is a mistake and a choice are the same? And then they say, well, maybe you can make a choice and then you feel like that it was a mistake. And I said, okay, explain that to me. Explain the difference between a choice and a mistake. Now, James, this concept or this principle or this truth, it ain't just for the guys in our program,
right?
Because I seen a politician last week got up and apologized for having an affair on his wife.
Right.
And the first thing he said was, I made a mistake. And I'm like, no, dude, that was not a mistake.
That was a poor choice.
That was a choice, a bad one.
Yep.
So there is a difference between a choice and a mistake.
Yeah.
A mistake is I accidentally stepped on your toe.
Right.
That's a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
A choice is I get a DUI.
Mm-hmm.
The choice is I break into somebody's house.
Yes.
And then they ask me all the time, say, Mr. Glenn, I made a lot of mistakes. And I said, tell me some of the mistakes you made.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got DUI. I went to jail for non-child support. And I said, well, those choices or those mistakes?
All right.
And they looked at me and I said, those are not mistakes.
Nope.
Those are choices.
Those were choices.
A mistake, again, is I accidentally stepped on your toe.
Mm-hmm.
A choice means I had a range of things that I could have chose.
Mm-hmm.
If I got a DUI, I could have chose not to drive.
Right.
I could have chose not to drink.
Mm-hmm.
I could have chose to call an Uber.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of things that I could have chose to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I chose to drive, knowing the consequence that I might get stopped.
Yes.
And when I got stopped, you will want to say the cop was looking for me or I made a bad mistake.
Not true.
Not true. It was a choice.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, James, when we realize that our life today, where we are, is a combination of our choices and our mistakes.
Right.
But I bet you, as my daddy used to say, a dime to a donut, whatever that
Mm-hmm.
meant.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at your life, you are where you are today, not because of your mistakes,
right,
but because of your choices.
Absolutely.
Now the question is, why do people call bad choices mistakes?
Well, being that I am a part of our curriculum, I could answer that.
You can answer that.
And if any of our viewers would like to comment, you can always join us in the chat with this conversation. But I already know the answer.
Yes.
And,
let me
really would love.
Let me put it out there one more time.
Yeah.
What was it?
So
why do people call bad choices mistakes?
Right.
That's the $1 million question.
Yep. And again, if our viewers want to chime in and put their answers up, we'll give it to you shortly. But
yes.
Why
do people call bad choices? So I tell the guys that to lay down tonight, when you close your eyes, before you go to sleep, think about
how did I
get here?
Yeah.
And I say, I bet you, if you be honest with yourself, you'll realize you got here not because of the mistakes you made, but because of the choices you made.
Right.
And when you realize that, and you don't like where you are, guess what you do? You'll start making better choices.
Right. As well as now, I'm accountable for those things that I've done.
Yes.
You know.
So the answer to that question is, why do people call bad choices mistakes? It's because we don't want to take ownership.
Yep.
It's easier to blame somebody else. It's easier. So I call bad choices mistakes because, after all, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, and it sounds better.
It's
softened it up.
Softened it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It don't make me fully accountable because after all, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, because the first thing they'll say, "Oh, the poor soul."
Yes,
he's having such a difficult time.
Yes.
Let's pray for him.
Yes.
And let's do this.
Yes, he had a hard life.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, all you had to do is tell it. Let's just put it out there.
Yes,
you know.
So we don't like to take ownership, but once you take ownership of where you are in your life, and once you take ownership that I am responsible, for getting where I am, the light bulb comes on, and that's when the proverbs come in. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah. Because now I'm ready to change because I really looked at what my life is. And I realized I'm here because of my choices. Yeah. And guess what? From now on, I don't do the bad choices anymore.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say. So when we have an individual within our program, within our ranks, who wants to make that change, then there's several things that they've got to do right away. And and maybe they never considered those things, but it's finding a place to stay post
Yeah.
Fathers Forever, finding a place to stay, finding a job really, and then a place to
Right.
stay, rebuilding those relationships
Right.
with all the adults who were involved with raising
Right.
his child
While you was incarcerated.
while he's incarcerated, and rebuilding the relationship with your children.
Yes.
So I only named 4 things just now,
Right.
but there are a lot of things. Then there's self-help or self-improvement type things
Right.
to do. And we're saying this because we've already witnessed it
Right.
happen
Yes.
multiple times,
Yes.
over and over and over again, more than multiple, hundreds of times, and we're happy that it
Yes.
is
Yes.
effective. It is happening and working for those individuals.
Yes.
Yeah.
The light bulb come on,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see them going from sitting like this, being mad,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
sitting up like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're seeing the light bulb came on. The teacher showed up. They was ready for it,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're ready to move on with the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
One of the stories that we talk about that we share with them is I asked a question to the guys. Who is the most? One of the guys said he loved his kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, let's call her name Billy.
Okay.
And I said, Billy, who is the most? What's the most important person in the car?
Mm-hmm.
And he said the driver, of course. And I said, well, why is that? He said the passenger is there. They don't drive in the car. They may tell the driver where to turn at and
Mm-hmm.
to give him direction, but the driver is the most important person in the car.
Right.
And I said, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, we have passengers.
Mm-hmm.
And we was talking about his kids. And I said, where are you when you're driving the car that your kids are in?
Mm-hmm.
You're the driver.
Yes.
And so you might have some other passenger in there, but you're one responsible for driving this car with your kids in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you are the one that has to be responsible to make sure you stopping at all the stoplights,
Yes.
that you're doing all the things that you need to be doing because you're the driver of this car.
Right.
And your kids are important. So in your life, if you're not doing this thing, you're not driving the kids, your car, somebody else is driving your kids around.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to take the wheel back.
Yeah.
And so those are things that, these guys begin to understand the concept, the principle
Right.
of getting back in charge of their lives
Resuming
and resume responsibility
responsibility.
and taking responsibility. Again, like I said before earlier, it ain't just the guys in our program.
No,
it's all of us.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we don't want to take responsibility
Mm-hmm.
for our actions and our
Yeah.
behavior.
And
And the blame game is easy to blame other people
yeah.
for doing, and having a victim mentality.
Yeah, because we'll say, they were against me. I didn't get that job because of my
Right.
color. Regardless of some of that, sometimes is true. But
Yes.
what if it happened? Are we just going to fold our tin up,
Right,
and,
right,
and,
and just-
leave?
Yes.
I mean, we got to keep fighting.
Right.
We got to keep improving, and keep at it. So,
Right.
Yeah. But this has been interesting for
Yes.
us, and we are happy that we could share a few words of wisdom with you
Yeah.
and some things to consider.
Yeah, hope you got something out of it. This
Mhm.
particular had a little technical difficulties
Yeah.
getting started today. I don't know if because of
Yeah, it's
the weather.
okay. It looks like I've joined you a little bit
Yes,
there.
yeah.
I don't appear to have any hair on my head.
And mine is fuzzy.
But that's okay. We'll fix it the
we
next time.
Yeah.
But absolutely, we know there's inclement weather coming our way.
Yes.
We would love for everyone to be safe and just be mindful of what time it is.
Yes.
We have a shout out to Angela Gorham. Yes, she says we all can learn from this topic, choices versus mistakes.
Yes.
And she loves it. We thank you, Angela. Appreciate that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Choices versus mistakes.
Yeah.
So stop calling bad choices mistakes.
Right. Please remember this
Yes,
piece as well, because
And
we've all done it before.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
you know.
But once the teacher showed up, the light come on,
uh,
and now we don't do it anymore. Just stop
Absolutely.
calling us. And one thing I've tried to do in my life
Mhm.
is stop calling bad choices mistakes.
Absolutely. And I
And-
learned that
And
too.
look at, if I make the choice, own up to it.
Yeah.
Don't
Absolutely.
hide behind calling a mistake. I made it.
Mhm.
But it happens in good choices too. You are today where you are today because of the good choices you made.
too. Yes.
So it happened both ways.
Mhm.
Because if I want to get my GED, if I want to get something, I make a choice to do it, and then I put stuff in action to get it.
Right.
And then there'll come a time when I got my GED.
Which enhances the meaning of see, do, get.
Yes,
You
exactly.
see something, you do it,
and you
get it.
Yes.
But in this case, if you see that goal out there, we want to go attain it,
Yes.
and you take the necessary steps
Yes.
to get there
To get there.
and make it happen.
Yep. And
So,
if you fall forward, you get up and you keep doing it. Until you make it up.
absolutely,
And that teacher would keep showing up
absolutely, yeah,
until It doesn't mean that she wasn't there.
Mhm.
Sometimes she hides herself, but we don't see her.
Right. Right.
But she's not hiding from her. He's not hiding from her.
Mhm.
We just don't see them because we're not in that mindset
Right.
to see them. But once we do, pop, there she is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. And Dr. Warren, you want to take us home?
I hope you guys, ladies and gents, please be safe out there in the next few days with the bad weather, the inclement weather, the rain. Be safe and praying for you and your family, and have a safe trip. And wherever you're going, and have a safe trip. And go back and watch this again. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Versus choices versus mistakes.
Yeah.
I think this is a lifelong lesson that we all can learn from.
Yes.
Anyway, everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next Thursday at 8 p.m.
8:05.